Hello everybody, you're watching RRTV and we're broadcasting today the Australian-New Zealand Skip Barber Championship at Phillip Island. So after many months of work from Richard Craig from ANZ Skippy League and myself from RRTV, this is going to become a reality today, so we're very excited about that. So having a look at the schedule, the Australian Skip Barber Championship runs over the full year. At the end of 10 rounds, we will crown an Australian-New Zealand Skip Barber champion. There is no drop rounds, and so if the guys are going to want to win this, they're going to have to participate in every single round. So having a look at our schedule this year, we're starting today at the first round at Phillip Island in Australia. In March we're off to the USA to race at Coda West. April the 5th we'll go to Sebring International. May the 3rd we're off to Road America. June the 7th we're off to Canada to race at Circuit Jules Villeneuve. Then July the 5th we're going to go up to the Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. August the 2nd off to England for Brands Hatch Grand Prix. September the 6th we'll be at Zolder Park in Belgium. Then for the 9th round on the 4th of October we'll be going to Japan to run at Suzuka Grand Prix circuit, and finally to round off the series on the 1st of November we will be going to Mount Panorama in Bathurst. So having a look at Phillip Island today. Phillip Island is basically one of the fastest tracks in Australia. It hosts the MotoGP. So if we're having a look from the start line, the Skip Barber drivers will come down Gardner Straight into Doohan Corner. As you can see there in green, that's an overtaking move. That's the fastest corner on this track and probably one of the fastest corners in Australia. They will be taking that corner in 5th gear, which is their highest gear, and they'll be reaching pretty close to top speed, so they'll just coast through there. If they get a passing move on the inside there, coming into Southern Loop, they're going to have to watch for a switchback. This is a 3rd gear corner. Once they exit Southern Loop, they'll be going down to Stoner Corner under heavy brakes to turn 4, which is another passing opportunity down there. Again, once they come up to Siberia, they will be able to make another pass there before they start on turn 7. Now, for the people that don't know about Phillip Island, Siberia is called Siberia because if you miss that corner, there's ocean. So coming up through turn 7 and 8, they're going to hit that flat out. They're not going to have a move. They're not going to have a chance to overtake, but they will have good slipstreaming opportunities through there. They'll feather it up through Lukey Heights, coming down into turn 10 again under heavy brakes, which is another great passing opportunity before they move back onto turn 11. Turn 12, they'll start picking up the draft from that point all the way down Gardner Straight to set them up for another pass on turn 1. So today's race distance is going to be 28 laps or 50 minutes. There will be one compulsory pit stop for fuel, and tyres are voluntary, I guess you could say. Okay, so let's have a look at our qualifying final qualifying positions. So for those of you unfamiliar with our championship, the way this works is they have 3 qualifying rounds. They have it on Tuesday night, Thursday night, and then Saturday afternoon, with the best time from each driver in the week being recorded and setting the grid for the Sunday race. So if we have a look at our qualifying results now, congratulations to Grant Ashby. He won the RRTV pole position, setting a 1 minute 45.317. So for that, Grant will win $10 in iRacing credits from RRTV. Second, Troy Burgess, 145.535. Third, Phillip Barringer is 145.590. Fourth is Mick Gray, 145.598. Fifth, Richard Craig, set a 145.669. Sixth, James Keane. Seventh, Lance Perkins. Eighth, David Buda. Ninth, Daniel Ackland. 10th is Phil Hobbs from from Redback Racing Team. 11th, Paul Wood Stotesbury. 12th, Kevin Willman. 13th, Brian Hender. 14th, Ben Clugston. 15th, Ben Conroy. 16th, Michael Thomas. 17th is Warren Cogger. 18th, Sam Katakuzinis. 19th, Kurt Marr. 20th, Nick Coburn. 21st, Kevin Henderson. 22nd is Darren Carter. 23rd, Rob Fitness. 24th, Darren Lesu. 25th, Neil De Bruin. 26th, Pat McNamara. 27th, Jason Gullickson. 28th, Santiago Pedrosa. And rounding out our field in 29th is Ashley Gullickson. So as you can see from those times, the top, it's going to be an extremely close race with the top 9 all in the 145s, and then all the way down to 23rd all in the 146s for qualifying. Now the 145s were set under tow, which means basically they slipstream the car in front of them, get a good tow down the straight, which gives them extra top end speed, which allows them to set those fast paces. Now that's all fine, that's part of the rules. If they can get a tow or get a draft, they're more than welcome to use that, as it's part of real world racing. But what it means, folks, is when the race actually starts, the field is going to be extremely close. And it's going to make for some really exciting racing and some really close racing. So today we've got 29 in the field. We have 53 drivers registered for this series. However, the Daytona 24 Hours on this weekend on iRacing, so we may have lost a number of drivers to that, but still we seem to have a pretty good full field there. So having a look at the way points will be awarded, points will be awarded in 2 championships. We're going to have the Drivers' Championship, and points will be awarded from positions 1 to 15. We're also got a Team Championship running, where points will be awarded for positions 1 to 15. Now the teams will, they're allowed to have 2 cars and a driver in each, and the team will score points based on where those drivers finish in each round. There's no driver swaps in this event, so it's more like the traditional Formula 1 type rule. So coming to live pictures now, folks, and I'll tell you a little bit about the Skip Barber. Skip Barber is a driver development type car in the US of A. It's very closely related to the Formula Ford here in Australia. They run treaded tyres on this vehicle, so there's no slicks in this class, and it's powered by a little 4-cylinder Mazda engine. So as you can see, unlike the Formula Ford, they do have a front and rear wing. However, that doesn't give them a lot of downforce. So these cars do very much drive like the Formula Ford vehicle here in Australia. So they are, as I said, a great car for drivers to develop their driving skills. The good thing about this form of racing is the draft in these cars is very good, which means on high speed circuits such as this, the leaders can be pulled back into the pack quite easily, which makes for very close and very exciting racing for us to enjoy and watch. These cars don't, being open wheelers, do sustain quite a bit of damage if they're hit or in an incident, so the drivers are going to have to be careful of that today, because there will be no fast repairs. So for those of you that's unfamiliar with iRacing, what that means is if they are involved in an incident and they get the car back to the pits, normally they can get the car returned back to brand new condition, but because we're simulating real world racing and it is a championship, they won't have the benefit of those fast repairs, which means if they take damage, their pit crew are going to have to repair that car, which means it can take anywhere from a couple of minutes all the way up to 30 minutes, or in some cases the car won't be able to be repaired in the 50-minute time allocated to this race. So for those of you watching at home, we've got a bit of new technology today we'll be using, which basically on the gyro cam, it allows us to be able to pan the camera so that you guys can get all the action from the best perspective, I guess, from the top of the driver's, just behind the driver's head. Okay folks, so we'll stay with Sam and we'll do a lap of Phillip Island, so I hope you enjoy this. Turn your volume up and enjoy the ride. Okay, so folks, that was a lap around Phillip Island with Sam Katakazinis in the Skip Barber number 58. So as you can see from that lap, the guys are really working hard at the wheel to keep these cars going straight. They will slide the cars a little bit, but they get the best speeds by keeping them straight as they can. I guess if you wanted to compare these to a go-kart, this would be like a national series type go-kart, where it's all about driver accuracy and keeping these cars as straight as they possibly can while racing. So as I said earlier in the broadcast today, the iRacing Daytona 24-hour is currently being contested in America. We have quite a number of Australian drivers competing in that this weekend, which is quite exciting because it's the first official 24-hour race conducted on iRacing. The guys there can have up to 4 drivers, and they'll be swapping, and the race will end midnight tonight. So if anyone wants to watch that broadcast after this broadcast, of course, you can go to racespot.tv and you can watch that live broadcast there, presented by Racespot TV. So we've got 11 minutes left of warm-up until they will grid for the race today. We will have a race steward today, which may hand out penalties during the race. We do have yellow flags also enabled today, which may be called upon if there is a big accident during the event. Now, as I said, this race is a 28 laps, or it'll end once 50 minutes is reached. So for those of you interested in GT3 tonight, RRTV will be broadcasting live the SEK Queensland GT3 series. Tonight we have a 2-hour endurance race, and they can only have 2 drivers, so we'll be broadcasting that tonight from 8:15. It's always a great event, so definitely tune in and watch that. So between that and the Daytona 24-hour, for you guys out there that enjoy watching sim racing, there's plenty of action for you this weekend. So for those of you new to sim racing and are not familiar with iRacing, iRacing.com provide a subscription service, which basically means they provide us with all the tracks which they go around and laser scan. When they laser scan these tracks, they can bring it into within a millimetre tolerance of what the real track has, which includes all the bumps, all the banking, everything. So they then take that track, they then model all the surface, which gives us extremely accurate tracks compared to the real world, and it's just like being there racing in the real world. They also take the cars, they will laser scan the cars, they get all the schematics, they work out all the mechanics, and they model that into these vehicles so they can simulate a real world approximation. Well, it is pretty close to the real world, extremely close in fact, of the real car, which basically allows us to come along, jump in the car and race anyone in the world in real time. So all these guys that you can see driving at the moment, they're comfortably in their homes, they would be using a steering wheel and pedals. Some would be having what's called a sim rig, which is a racing seat, and between 1 to 3 monitors set up. Triple monitor setup basically means they can get a 180 degree view while driving the car, and they can see the apex and everything. So for those of you that are interested in giving iRacing a go, definitely go to iRacing.com. They have introductory offers that'll allow you to be able to experience these cars and some of these tracks. For those of you in iRacing.com that wish to have a go at this great series, go to the iRacing.com Skip Barber thread. You can find us there.
Yeah, I'm going to join any minute now.
Okay, sorry about that, folks. That was our race control, just letting me know that they will be here very shortly to conduct the race control. So, as I said, for those of you interested in joining our series, go to the Skip Barber thread. You can find us there under Australia-New Zealand Championship. Register there, join the ANZ Skippy League, and you could be racing with us today. So having a look at the practice results at the moment, we've got 25 drivers out, or 23 drivers out there. So Richard Craig has currently set the fastest time of 1:45.595, followed by Daniel Ackland in second, Tim Burgess in third, Phil Barringer in fourth, David Buda in fifth, sixth is James Keane, seventh Phil Hobbs, 8th Mick Gray, 9th Paul Wood Stotesbury, and rounding out our top 10 today is Lance Perkins. So at the moment our pole winner Grant Ashby is placed in practice at 22nd. So I'd also like to welcome to the commentary box tonight, or today, Adrian Jarvis. Welcome, Adrian, to our first round of the Skip Barber Australian Championship, and it looks like it's going to be an extremely close race, mate.
Yeah, Bernie, thanks for having me. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we're running a little bit late today, but yes, Bernie, I've done a pre-qualifying with you, and yeah, these guys are going to be on it, and it's going to be a cracker race, I reckon, tonight, this afternoon, Bernie.
Oh, definitely. We're looking at the times earlier, Adrian, and really the top 20 guys are split by under a second, so this is going to be anyone's race, and it's interesting to see at the moment. Grant Ashby, our pole winner, is sitting in 22nd position as far as practice times go. So I think it's going to be very exciting for the guys to watch this today.
Yeah, Bernie, I think we've got our job cut out for us today, just before the fact that there's going to be that many battles today. Yeah, it's going to be a cracker.
Yeah, that's for sure. And 26 pre-qualified or for today's race, so we definitely have a fairly full field. This track can take up to, or this series can take up to 40 drivers, so there's definitely a few guys missing tonight, or today, but I guess that's because the Daytona 24 hours on, and a lot of them would be racing in that.
Yeah, Bernie, I'm sure there's a few drivers. A lot of these guys are very versatile and definitely jump into the Daytona 24-hour. I haven't actually got time to look at that today, but I'm sure it's a cracker pace over there today as well.
Yeah, definitely. I was having a look at it this morning till about 2 a.m. I was watching it. RaceSpot TV is broadcasting it live, and it was great to see at that stage the Direct Clutch Motorsport guys with Brad Wooten. They were running, I think, third in class in the top split, so they were really doing well in there.
No, that's good, Bernie. Like I said, it's been a bit of a rush around for me this morning, so yeah, I'm glad to be here and help you co-commentate today and watch these guys run around in the skippies. It'll be a cracker race.
Yeah, definitely, and we've got Kevin Weirman today. He is our race steward, and he will be monitoring this race, dishing out any race penalties. After this race, folks, the full replay also goes back to post-race stewards, where it will be reviewed again, and any penalties for the next round will be handed down for that. So we're taking this series very seriously, and so are the guys. And there's a lot invested in this series, so hopefully it's going to be a great race for you guys. With 2 minutes to go, Adrian, till the start.
Yeah, this is going to be really cool, Bernie. I'm going to love watching it as soon as I get on. Having trouble as per normal lately, so yeah, I'll be there soon and I'll help you. And I'm going to enjoy this, Bernie. This is going to be really good.
Yeah, definitely, and from the preview race these guys did a couple of weeks ago, that race was won by probably 1/100th of a second, if that. It was so close we had to look at the replay, then we had to get the race steward to also review it to make sure we knew who exactly won.
Yeah, Bernie, that was a beautiful race, that one, Bernie. It was so hard to call to see who was going to win that one, that was for sure. And it was beautiful driving by all drivers that afternoon. So I love the racing, and I'm sure we're going to get a cracker today as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, there we go. I think I've finally making my way in. It's been one of those mornings rushing around, had jobs to do, and I've only just got home, so here's for a good race, I reckon, mate.
Yeah, definitely, it's going to be a fantastic race, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
Yes, it should be good, and we've also got the SEK later on this evening as well, so lucky it's only a small one, Bernie. I think would be burnt out by the time we're finished here with the skippies. They're going to be fantastic.
Yeah, definitely. Tonight we will be doing a 2-hour race, so at least it's not a long one. So I guess we'll be broadcasting a total of 3-4 hours still, but I've got it in me if you have, Adrian.
Yeah, no, for sure, Benny. I'm going to enjoy this. This is going to be a cracker, as they're just finishing up now, I believe. So, yeah, let's. I'll let you take over so you can go through the whole field, because I know it's going to be a fairly long one. So, yeah, over to you, Bernie.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, and as usual, folks, my overlay is not working yet again. So we do know Grant Ashby is on pole position at the moment in that yellow car. He's going to have to make a fantastic start, folks, because this field is going to be all over him. So as you can see, the lights are coming on. We have some drivers missing in the field. Red lights, revs rising. we have green, folks. The race has started. A great clean start by the looks of it, Adrian. All the cars look like they got away cleanly.
Yes, Bernie, they've got away relatively cleanly. I can't see anything going on, but it's going to come down to the next few turns here, mate.
Definitely, and we've got Grant Ashby at the moment has taken that lead. As we can see now, Phil Hobbs is having a battle with Lance Perkins there for 8th and 9th. So I must say, Adrian, it's fantastic to see such a big field of skippies taking to the track so far.
Yeah, Bernie, it's a good sign that this series is going to grow, and it's going to be an awesome thing to follow and get involved as well. If you guys are really interested in doing this, there's something to do. The skippies aren't a very technical car, but very driver orientated, so definitely get involved with it.
Yeah, and the good thing about it is there's not a lot of adjustment they can make to these cars, so they're all very equal in performance, which means any drivers that feel they are talented to take it to these boys, you're on an even playing field, which is fantastic. So as we have a look at the guys coming over Lukey Heights, we've got Grant Ashby in first, followed closely by Troy Burgess, who's having a look on the inside. Fantastic, makes a clean move. Troy Burgess is our new race leader, Adrian.
Yeah, these boys are going to be doing this all day long as the race is till the checkered flag, Bernie. These guys are going to swap. They're so similar in performances. These guys are going to be on it. But I think the fuel strategy could come in place too. I'm pretty sure that's still in place. Oh, there's a spinner there, Bernie.
Yeah, I think that was that may have been Richard Craig that went around at that point. So fortunately, no one else has hit him. And the race can continue on to the second lap.
Yeah, Bernie, I'm just going to go back and have a quick look at it. I think he may have done it on his own, mate.
Yeah, I think so. It looks like he's just caught his wheel on the side there.
Oh yeah, just a little bit wide there, Bernie. Caught the rear wheel, and yeah, round she goes. So unfortunate for him, but the guy watched that pre-qualifying did, and he came back through the field. So because his car didn't get off the line too well, so he's got a tougher job tonight. But look, let's watch him where it ends up tonight. Yeah, this afternoon.
This afternoon, yeah. And fortunately for Richard, he did keep it off the inside wall there, and hasn't sustained any damage apart to probably his pride at this stage in the race.
Yeah, that's probably about it, Benny. Just a bit of pride, because I know he's a keen driver of this thing, and really takes pride in his own skills. So, which a lot of them do, and definitely a lot of skill out there tonight.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm having a look, folks. We'll take you through our top 10 as they stand at this stage. So at the moment, I'm just having a look at who's the leader here. So at the moment, it looks like Grant Ashby's taken the lead back off Troy Burgess, Adrian. No, Troy Burgess has got the lead off Grant Ashby, who's only 0.5 of a second behind, closely followed by Phillip Beringer, Mick Gray, James Keane. 6th is Phil Hobbs, some 2.3 seconds down. 7th is David Buda. 8th, Paul Wood Stotesbury. Lance Perkins is 9th, and Daniel Ackland rounds out our top 10.
Yeah, that's another driver we're going to keep an eye on too. I think David Buda there, he did quite well in the pre-qualifying round that we hosted recently. So he's another good driver. So I wouldn't be surprised he'll be up near the pointy end at the end of this race, Bernie.
Yeah, definitely. And if we're having a look, the top 3 are only separated by 0.6 of a second at the moment. As we're having a look further back in the field, we've just got trains of cars from 5th all the way back to 11th at this stage. So there's definitely some fantastic driving and racing going on out there.
Yeah, we've already got one guy in the pits too, Bernie, Michael Thomas, so something's going on with his race, so he might have had a bad start, unfortunately. Can't get it back from there. And there's also Ben Conroy, he's way down as well, so he must have had an incident at some stage, so unlucky for those guys. Hopefully they can bounce back, and hopefully next round they'll be up in the field again.
Yeah, definitely. We just had a look at a replay with Michael Thomas. He had some heavy rear wing contact, as we can see him in the pits now, getting that car fixed. Ben Conroy was also pitted on lap 1 and was involved in an incident. And so was Phil Hobbs, Pat McNamara, Grant Ashby, Kurt Marr. They all had off tracks, so that could just mean they dropped a wheel off the circuit. Yeah,
these guys are doing all right. They're just getting adjusted. This is a lovely track though, Bernie, isn't it? It's awesome track to race on.
Oh, definitely. It's a fantastic track. Very fast track. Now, because Michael's got such severe damage and there's no fast repairs in this race, unfortunately he's going to be sitting there till his pit crew can fix that car. Hopefully they can get it fixed and back on the track soon.
Yeah, nothing like sitting in the pits and waiting till your car get repaired, but this is the nature of this game, and look, he's determined to get back out there, so good on him. And look, there's going to be some race car for him to let the guys go and see how well he can perform. He might even just to understand the track and learn a bit more about these cars.
Yeah, definitely. As we're riding now with Mick Gray at the moment, who's back in 4th position, folks. We'll stick with Mick for a bit of a lap so you can enjoy Phillip Island. Tell you what, Adrian, this is a great view. We can really see how much these drivers are working that wheel.
Yeah, that cockpit view or the roof end view is unbelievably brilliant view, Bernie, and just to see them work the wheel. I know it's pretty very much a driver's car, so they've really got to get that wheel working and try and keep the car as straight as possible, but also have it a little bit loose to try and keep the car with plenty of momentum around the corners.
Yeah, and that's pretty much the key with these cars, isn't it? They're really you really need to keep that momentum going through these corners. Otherwise, if you lose that top end speed, it can cost you a lot of positions.
Yeah, for sure, Bernie. It's one of these cars, you've definitely got to have a car that's a little bit loose, so it's got a bit of a slide into the corners. It just helps the momentum around the corners, but you don't want it too loose, otherwise you just lose all speed. So it's a very fine balance with these cars to get it to work that way.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's although they can't do a lot of setup on them, it's really up to that driver to get the most out of these small cars.
Yeah, Bernie, it is one of those things. Like, yes, they can't change a lot, but I tell you, their tyre pressures are is what they've got to work on. So just getting the right tyre pressures, Bernie. So. As we see, they're slowly starting to step, Bernie.
Yeah, having a look at the moment, out in front we do have Troy Burgess with a lead of 0.2 or 200ths of a second, I guess, over Grant Ashby at the moment, our pole winner. Phillip Beringer is in 3rd. 4th, James Keane, 1.3 seconds down from the leader. Closely followed now by Mick Gray in 5th position. So yeah, they're starting to sort themselves out. Adrian. We're up to lap 6 out of 28, but it's still anyone's race.
Yeah, Bernie, and Richard's not having a good race. He got a little bit loose there, Bernie, and had a slight spin. Kept it off the wall, but geez, unfortunately, it doesn't look like he's going to have a good race today. So it looks like he's just going to have to settle down and just knuckle down and try and get a few positions. But yeah, it's going to be hard for him to make his way up to the podium this afternoon now.
Yeah, definitely, and he's sitting at the moment in 21st position, so he's going to have to get 6 positions during this race if he hopes to score any championship points. So this could be quite a bit of trouble for Richard Craig at this stage in the race.
Yeah, Bernie, it's not a good start, but look, he'll be hard on himself more than anyone else. So I'm sure he'll push forward and trying to get a few more positions. He knows where he's at, and I'm sure he'll get it done. Look, we're only 8 laps in, so I think he'll definitely push forward and get a few more spots by the end of the race. Yeah,
well, we've seen him on the Monday nights. He's normally up the pointy end of the field, and in the preview race, he had to work his way up through the field, but he did it brilliantly in that race. So he's definitely got it in him to come up through this field during the race. Yeah, for sure, Bernie. And man, I don't know where we're going to look, Bernie, because there's guys, I know they're spread out a little bit, but you're getting a group of guys and then it's spread out, and then you're getting a group of guys. They're just all doing such a wonderful job here today. I'm just chuffed in watching this. Yeah, well, having a look at the, we've got 4 guys out the front with a bit of a split, and then we've got another, 5 guys behind them battling it out, all the way back to 9th. So, yeah, it's definitely great racing between those 2 battle packs, and I'll tell you what, if that second pack can slipstream each other and close up, we're in for one heck of a race. Yeah, and that's the key, isn't it, Bernie? These guys have really got to work together and try and slipstream each other efficiently and not try and battle too hard. And I think that was the key to these cars. Just try and work the cars and make your moves when you need to, or if you have got a lot of speed down the straightaway, obviously you've got to make a move. But yeah, just try and work together and get the gap closed up again. Yeah, as we can see now, Phil Hobbs making a move on, who's he making a move on there? David Buda, I think, Richard Craig's teammate. So, and he makes that stick. So we'll see if Phil can break that slipstream and start catching the guys in front. But yeah, in the Daytona 24-hour, they've got a word they use for getting the guys to cooperate. It's something like co-competition or something, very American of course, but the guys just have to cooperate now, sit in behind each other and try to close that gap if they want any chance of winning this race with 20 laps to go. Well, definitely for everyone watching today, if they can do that. I mean, it's going to be fun for us and also hard at the same time, just trying to keep up with the battle packs. Yeah, definitely, and it's easy enough for me to say, oh, the guys should just cooperate and catch up, but you know, when you're racing, the red mist drops, every position counts, and pretty much the driver's out there to win, so they're just going to fight for any position they can during this event, as we see Mick Gray making a lunge under brakes, but he just doesn't quite have it on James Keane there to make that move stick. Yeah, there's always a possibility down coming from Lukey Heights, isn't it, Bernie? Just one of those overtaking moves that you can do, but I think the best thing is try and hold off with what we saw in our pre-qualifying race. Just hang off and try and get the draft down the front straight away and just pip them at the line, which is the best way to go, I think. Oh yeah, definitely. As we're having a look now at Grant Ashby making a move on the outside of Troy Burgess. He should have this in corner 2 here, Adrian, but then again, Troy's not going to have a bar of that.
Yeah, these boys they fight hard, but when they know that they've lost the position, they'll quickly let them go and get back into line and have another shot at the lead. These boys are going to be fighting like this, and you can see that there's 5 cars now up in fighting for this first position. So they keep fighting like this. It might actually drag that second group back onto them.
Yeah, definitely, and it was we had a great shot earlier of them all snaking down that front straight. You know, each of them trying to break that slipstream of the car behind them.
You know, they're awesome cars to watch, and these boys are doing a fantastic job. I cannot underestimate or understate at how well these guys are racing today.
Yeah, definitely, and having a look at the moment, every single driver is currently circulating. Michael Thomas has had his car fixed. He's 4 laps down, but at least he's still out there having a go.
Yeah, Bernie, I mean, the only way to get quicker around a track is just get on there and keep running around, and it'll be a good test for him to understand what the car's doing, and next time he gets out there he'll have another setup for the car, and it'll probably be a bit quicker. So hats off to him to get out there and keep running, as we got Grant into second again, into first place again, so these boys are really duking it out at the moment, Bernie.
Definitely, and they're going to have to watch themselves, because Phil Hobbs, a lap or so ago, set the fastest lap of a 1:45, 4:32 I think it was. So he's definitely going to start pulling these guys in. Looking at that last lap at the moment, all the front guys are in the 1:46s, and then from 6 down they're ranging in the 1:47s to 1:46s. So yeah, you're right. If they keep fighting like this, that second pack's going to be on them pretty quick.
Yeah, Benny, and so we look at it, it's like, say 3 seconds behind at the moment, but geez, that can evaporate real quickly, especially if Phil can get the draft off the guys in front. He can close up real quickly.
Yeah, definitely, but he's got a bit of work ahead of him. He's some 3 seconds down from 5th place at the moment of Mick Gray, but he has broken that slipstream from 7th position David Buda, Paul Wood, Stotesbury and Lance Perkins. As we see now, David Buda getting it all crossed up there, coming out of Lukey Heights, and he managed to gather it up, Adrian.
Man, that was a phenomenal effort to get that car in the right direction, Bernie. Coming downhill in the grass, it was going every which way. What a phenomenal job to keep that car straight, and he's on the back of the pack there, and look, he hasn't lost a lot, so he's been very lucky.
Yeah, definitely. As we have a look at the replay, folks, man, that's great car control from David to keep that straight. But it cost him a couple of positions, but at least he's got that car straight.
And what it done, Bernie, there is it's given Phil a break, and he's out there on his own. So let's see how he goes. It's going to be tough for him to catch up the lead pack, but he has broken that his battle pack behind him. So let's see what he can do from here. Yeah,
definitely. And the other thing to take into consideration is fuel strategy, because these guys can only carry 3.1 gallons, which means some of these guys could be running light or heavy in this first stint. And we're only really going to find that out when they come in to take their fuel stop.
Yeah, and as the guys are running light, they really want to be up near the front, because need to get that breakaway and try and stay out the front, because the guys that are running heavy will run a little bit longer, and they can come back into play later on in the race because they don't need to stop as long.
Definitely, as we catch a replay here of Phil Barringer currently in 3rd position, as he makes a move on the top 2 to take first, just out of Stoner Corner coming into Siberia. So that was a great move under brakes, taking 2 positions in one corner, Adrian.
Yeah, Bernie, just brilliant driving, and look, he's probably gonna lose it down the front straight away, but these guys are battling away, and it's good that nice and clean. It's really good stuff.
Yeah, and you're right, Adrian. He did lose that lead to Troy Burgess, but he's still got second and now coming under some heavy pressure by Grant Ashby.
And it looks like Mick's playing a little bit of mouse here, Bernie. He's sitting here in fifth at the moment, and he's been there all the time, just watching these boys fight and battle, and he's just on the back of the pack here, so he could be saving a bit of fuel, Bernie.
Yeah, definitely, because we know Mick is definitely a fast driver, and I think you're right. I think he's just sitting in the back here, letting the laps tick down and saving fuel, which means he can have a shorter stop.
Yeah, for sure, Bernie. And geez, I thought I heard a bit of a noise there. I didn't quite see anything, so hopefully nothing's happened.
Yeah, there was a bit of an accident further down in the field, and I'm just trying to see where that was.
Daniel Ackland is in the pit, so I wonder if he's one of the guys that had the accident. We'll have to quickly find out.
Yeah, Daniel's out of the race, mate. He's blown his motor. He was currently running in second position. No, where was he? Yeah, he's blown his motor anyway, so that's game over for Daniel. Although, you know, with iRacing rules, they can replace these motors, but it takes 30 minutes for the pit crew to replace the motor, and I don't think he's going to recover from that.
No, Bernie, such a shame. Maybe changed down gears too quickly. Who knows? We won't know until we get word from Daniel himself, but what a shame. He was in a good pack there, having a good battle with the boys, so hard luck to him, and look, he'll be back next round hopefully and be having another good old fight as James Keane is in the lead now, Bernie.
Yeah, there's so much going on. We'll see if we can get a replay of that move.
And here I was saying Mick's sitting at the back, he's in third position, so we've had a bit of a shuffle around here, Bernie. We seem to have lost someone, I think. Yeah,
we definitely have. Race Control just advised me that Michael Thomas has had a collision with Ben Clugston on lap 11. So we'll try and get a replay of that, folks. Okay, we've also had word from Daniel Ackland.
You still there, Bernie?
Yeah, mate. Sorry, I was hitting the wrong button. I was just saying that Thomas and Ben Clugston crashed on lap 11, which is probably that incident we heard in the background. We've also heard from Daniel Ackland's team to say that engine cannot be replaced, so they are out of this race.
Oh, that's a shame, Bernie. But look, like I said, they'll come back next round and give it another crack. And look, I hope these guys don't get too disappointed. He was actually having a good race there and having a good battle, so hopefully he'll get stuck into it, and we'll see him soon.
Yeah, definitely. We're just having a look at... Okay. We're having a look at the replay of Michael Thomas re-entering the track at this stage. I'm just trying to see... Yeah, I can't see exactly what occurred to Michael, but he's definitely limping around to the pits. But yeah, what we found last Monday night, Adrian, in this race, these cars are very, very susceptible to blowing engines on the downshift. Last Monday night, we had the leader Troy Burgess blow his motor, and then we had another person further in the field blow their motor. So it can be either over revving on downshift, and sometimes if they hit a bump wrong and that rear wheel skips, it just buzzes the motor and it'll blow it.
Oh, it's a bit of a shame, but it shows you that you've got to be really gentle on your equipment, and look, when we go to some of these rough tracks, they're going to be really careful with their cars.
Yeah, definitely. So having a look at our top 10, folks, as we hit the halfway distance, we've got James Keane at the moment in front of Troy Burgess, followed now in third by Mick Gray. Grant Ashby in fourth. Phil Hobbs in fifth now. He's pulled in over a second on these guys. Paul Wood Stotesbury 6th, Lance Perkins 7th, 8th, Kevin Willman 2, 9th, Sam Katakazinas, and rounding out our top 10 is Brian Hender.
Well, definitely no short of action tonight, today, Bernie. They've been putting it on for us once again. So, look, I'm glad I'm up here watching it with you and calling it, because, yeah, this is something that I'm keen to keep watching and hang around and watch these guys drive, because they're absolutely phenomenal driving these cars around at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. As we can see now, Troy Burgess is coming under pressure by James Keane, but in return, Mick Gray's starting to turn up the pressure on these two guys. So I think Mick's hungry to take the lead, Adrian.
Yeah, he's been sitting there, hasn't he, Bernie? He's just been waiting away, just biding his time. So, yeah, I think getting the lead will just to see how you feel, you know, and I'm sure out of these four drivers at the moment, they're definitely there's going to be a new leader nearly every other lap, isn't there, Bernie?
Definitely, and as we can see further down the pack, David Buda, Lance Perkins in 13th, 14th have both taken their stops. Darren Carter and Ben Conroy at the moment are also taking their stops. So it's interesting, Adrian, the stop of David was 13.7 compared to Darren of 16.3. So there's a difference of 3 seconds amongst those four drivers at the moment. So it'll be interesting to see what the leaders do.
Yeah, Bernie, 3 seconds. It doesn't sound like a lot, but he's on track. That's a long time. So especially with these cars, that's a draft. There's no draft around 2 seconds, I think, Bernie. Once you're 2 seconds behind, you lose the draft. So that's a lot.
Yeah, it definitely is, and it just goes to show, you know, how the different strategies are going to play out. What I'm interested in seeing is when these leaders come in, what difference in pit stops they will be making.
Yeah, for sure, Bernie. And look, these guys are running a little bit longer, so look, we're thinking that they're probably going to have a shorter stop, but it's not about the shorter stop. It's actually where they come out. So look, it's all to play for, isn't it?
Yeah, it definitely is, and it looks like Phil Hobbs at the moment, he's just dropped back 2 seconds from the leaders, but he's still doing a great time at 146.383. The leaders are doing 145.941 at the moment.
Yeah, Bernie, the leaders haven't been fighting as hard as before, so they've settled in again and just doing a line astern and just putting away, so that's helping them break away, keep the speeds up, and it's breaking away from Phil at the moment.
Yeah, that's right, as their pit crews would be telling them if Phil was catching them, and no doubt they'd be talking amongst one another to make sure Phil doesn't catch up to them if they can help it. Oh,
for sure. You know, these guys don't like there's four of them there at the moment, because you could lose your position in one corner. So and not just one position, 2 or 3. So the guys don't like to have too many cars around them. If they've got one, it's bad enough. So they'll be out there trying to push as hard as they can.
Yeah, and at the moment, folks, we're having a look at Kurt Marr. Kurt's running back in 15th position, and he's the last car in the points at this stage, as I can hear someone off camera going across the gravel.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's Richard Craig's day. Bernie, he's 2 laps down, so look, I can't see him moving forward today, so this one's just going to be a test session, I think.
Yeah, I'd say so. I'm just having a look at the replay. I think it might have been David Buda that came off that track. So David...
Well, there we go. The boys are fighting again, Bernie. They keep changing it on us, so interesting stuff at the moment.
Yeah, it looks like Mick Ray there is now up to 2nd position, Adrian.
Yeah, Bernie, here we were saying he was sitting there being nice and quiet, and he's moved up into second. So definitely pushing forward here, Bernie. So he might be keen on trying to put a bit of a breakout and have a short stop right at the end to try and sprint home, mate.
Yeah, well, that's definitely it. You know, lap 17 out of 28. We can definitely see Mick starting to make his presence known. And as we watch that replay, I tell you what, coming into doing corner there, he nearly had both of them in that move.
Definitely great late braking there, Bernie, and caught them out unawares, I reckon.
Yeah, definitely, and it looks like Troy and Mick battling out front, and they've dropped James a little bit, but James will still be getting that slipstream as Mick Gray now takes the lead over Troy Burgess. So it'll be interesting now, Adrian, to see if Mick can make a gap there as we see Troy getting it all crossed up.
Well, Mick's going to rub his hands there because yeah, Troy just got a bit loose there and just held the other guys up, but they're still hanging in his toe. But Joy, Mick's certainly going to like that they got a little bit of break on him.
Yeah, definitely, and I tell you what, James was lucky to keep that position with that slight lose.
Yeah, especially around the southern loop, Bernie. That's sort of cambered. Off camber or goes away from you, so once you get out there on the wrong side of that corner, you can definitely lose the car into the grass and into the fence, so not a very pleasant place to be, that's for sure.
That's right, and I called it wrong, folks. That did cost James 2 positions, so James is back now in 4th position of this race.
It wouldn't surprise me that these guys may be soon, Bernie. They're definitely running long, but I wouldn't think they'd be staying out too much longer. Yeah,
definitely. Looks like they're coming in the pits now, Adrian, and I called it wrong again, folks. That was Troy Burgess getting it all crossed up, and he's in 4th position.
Yeah, Mick's staying out, and look, Grant's hanging out there with him. So look, it's going to be interesting how long these guys are going to hang out. But if Mick puts a foot down and tries to get a few good laps in here, Bernie, he may come out in front here at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. So it looks like both Troy Burgess, James Keane, Paul Wood, Stotesbury have pitted. We've got Warren Cogger now coming in to the pits in 9th. As well as Neil De Bruin in 8th. So they're all now starting to take their pits, Adrian.
Yeah, Bernie, I didn't think they'd be out there too much longer, and there's Mick's certainly got a gap there at the moment, hasn't he? He's certainly pushed on. It looks like he definitely wants to keep the race lead here, Bernie.
Yeah, definitely. He's now got nearly a second over second place Grant Ashbury, so I think now he's pushing really hard, but the more laps he can do means the less time he's going to spend in that pit, so I think now it's hammer time, as I'd say in Formula 1.
Yeah, Bernie, his fastest lap so far in the race, it was on lap 16 at a 1:45.7. Then he's done a 45.8 and then a 46 on his own, and we'll see what he's coming around at this lap if he finishes it or pits. So this will be interesting at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. And it looks like we've got a couple of guys waiting to come up for an interview. We'll bring Daniel Ackland up. We saw Daniel unfortunately blow his motor earlier on, so we'll just get a word on what actually occurred.
Only very new.
Hi Daniel, welcome to RRTV's commentary box. Bad luck there. It looks like you have blown your motor and you're out. Is that correct?
Yeah, Bernie, that's correct, mate. Bit unfortunate. I was sort of just coasting along on that second battle pack there, and it was quite interesting little battle, and wasn't pushing too hard, wasn't being aggressive, but unfortunately just dropped it down to first a bit too soon, and loud bang in the ears, and she was all over.
Yeah, well, that's the thing about the Skip Barber. We saw last Monday night, Strength of Field, a number of guys blowing motors. They seem to be quite fragile in the gearbox when you're downshifting. Is that your experience, or was it just bad luck?
To be honest, mate, I've had 2 in the last week. Prior to that, the last 2 months, I hadn't had one and never knew much of it. But yeah, 2 in the last week. I had one at the official race last night, and then that one today, which during practice and qualifying for the whole sort of last 2 weeks at Phillip, I haven't experienced it, but just bad luck. But you know, you move on. It's all good.
Yeah, and I tell you what, from our perspective here, it looks like we're having some really great racing, and it's really clean racing. Is that your experience as a driver out there?
Absolutely, Bernie. It's one of the better fields to run in for sure. The guys are all very respectful. The team, the radio chat is always very polite. It's great. It's very clean. I mean, if someone makes a passing move, there's no trying to shut the gate on them or anything like that. It's pretty good. So it's really fun. Really enjoyed it, and look forward to next round now.
Yeah, it should be a great race the next round. I've forgotten where we're going, but I think we're off to America. Is that right?
Yeah, I think we're off to where are we off to? Circuit of the Americas, but it's the West Circuit, so it's the shorter version of that one, which is better because it doesn't have that mile-long straight that puts you to sleep. Yeah,
the Coda West, I think, is a far better layout for these cars. I haven't actually driven around that, but what Richard Craig told me is these cars are pretty happy on that track. So have you had any experience on that track?
I have. Myself and Neil put in a few laps there a couple of weeks ago, just with an hour practice session, just to get our heads around it. That's it though. No racing experience. I have had experience there in the official series at the full Coda track, and I didn't enjoy that too much. But the Coda West is far better, much more fun.
Fantastic. And before we let you go, Daniel, is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to, or a thanks for having you here today, or helping you get here today?
Mate, to be honest, the biggest thanks I have to put out there is for Neil, team owner of Mumba Motorsports. He picked me up just through the forums there, and since then we've built a great relationship. Myself, I've been putting in the work with all the graphics, and he's been doing all the sort of setting up practice sessions for us to drive and whatnot. And yeah, just been a really good fun time and really enjoyed it. And also, thanks to you guys, Bernie and Adrian, for commentating, and the live stewards. Obviously, they're doing a great job. And just Redback Racing for putting on this great event. It's fantastic. And also Richard Craig for helping out with the organisation. He's doing really well. Had a bit of an unfortunate spin at the start there, but I'm sure he'll make his way back up the field. So go Richard.
Yeah, I'm not sure if let's have a look. No, Richard's out by the looks of it. He's got a heavily damaged car, so unfortunately we've got a retirement there, Daniel. But anyway, Daniel, thanks for coming up, and best of luck for Coda West in a month's time.
Cheers, Bernie. Enjoy the rest of the commentary. I'll watch the rest of the race. Thank you. I'll talk to you later.
Well, Bertie, we've got Troy Burgess and Grant Ashby up the front. So, geez, Mick has lost out in his pit stop there, mate. He's dropped right back into 7th. So from leading the race right back into 7th place, and he's nearly 10 seconds off the lead. So very long pit stop, I think, Bernie.
Yeah, definitely. Having a look at the pit stops, Grant Ashby, he did the fastest of the race with an 11.1, so obviously he was trying to get that gap, which he had for a bit, but Troy Burgess has pulled him back in with a pit stop of 15 seconds. Having a look at Mick Gray, you're right, he had an 18.8 second pit stop, but James Keane seems like the biggest loser in pit stops anyway. He did a 22.2 second stop.
Yeah, and we've got Paul Wood and David Buda. How's that, Bernie? Those guys were down, way down before the pit stops, and now they're in 4th and 5th. So they've come out on top out of their pit stops.
Yeah, definitely. David did a 13.7 seconds and a Paul Wood, Stotesbury, did a 15-second stop. But having a look at our top 10 now, because it's changed quite a bit. We've got Troy Burgess just out in front of Grant Ashby at this stage. Phil Hobbs now finds himself up into third. David Buda fourth. Paul Wood, Stotesbury in fifth. James Keane sixth. Mick Gray finds himself back in seventh there with a lot of work to do. Eighth, Lance Perkins. Ninth, Kevin Willman. 10th is Neil De Bruin. 11th, Sam Katakazinos. 12th, Brian Hender. 13th, Kurt Marr. 14th, Nick Coburn. And rounding out our top 15 is Darren Lesu.
Yes, it's sort of spread out now, so the top head's definitely throwing something in there, but look, these guys are going to have their team managers and that, and they'll have to have a debrief and sort out what went on through there, because Mick has definitely lost a big chunk of time, Bernie.
Yeah, he definitely has, and he's now 10 seconds from the leader with 6 laps to go, mate. I think the most he's going to hope for today is 6th of James Keane, if he can catch him. But unless something drastically goes wrong with the other guys, that's as far as he's going to move at this stage.
Oh, if he hangs... Oh, he's just spun it, Bernie. He's just spun in front of Lance Perkins. So, look, his day's actually gone backwards. So, probably putting a little bit too much pressure on himself to try and gain positions back, Bernie.
Definitely, and I can blame you for the curse. But it was probably my fault for talking. Tell you what, he was extremely lucky he didn't get cleaned up by, I think it was Neil De Bruin at that stage.
Yeah, just getting a little bit of radio chatter, Bernie, that I'm listening to is like, yeah, he's definitely overdriving the car then. He sort of blamed himself, so definitely overdriving the car and something about a bad pit stop. So something went on with his pit stop, didn't enjoy it, and yes, tried to overdrive the car because he's definitely lost out. But that's something that he'll come back next week and get it all sorted and figure out what went wrong, and hopefully they won't do that again. But I know what it's like when you make a mistake in the pit stop and then you try and drive the car back and you just make too many mistakes.
Yeah, definitely. I'm just having a look at our leaderboard at the moment, and something has definitely happened with Troy Burgess. We've got him now back in third position, some 4 seconds behind Phil Hobbs, and David Bood is now in second, some 3 seconds behind. So I think there must have been a coming together somewhere along the lines there, Adrian.
Yeah, just going back, and I noticed it as well. Grant Ashby is down in ninth. I saw him in the pits there, so I'll just rewind it a bit, Bernie, there, just to see what happened. They were going up through the hay shed, coming up to Lukey Heights here. They're pretty close together, so I'll just keep an eye on it for you, mate.
Yeah, we've just had a replay of Troy going into almost into the fence at Lukey Heights, which is what's caused him to drop down.
Yeah, he spun off in front of Grant there, and Grant's still okay at the moment, so I'm not sure what happened to Grant.
Yeah, Grant's just leaving the pits now. We've had word from race control that Troy spun last lap, as we saw on the replay up there at Lukey Heights.
You think Grant may have had some fueling issues or something in his last stop? Did he actually stop, Bernie? Because that's really weird. Like, he's back in the pits again, so I'm unsure if he's had enough fuel to run to the end of the race.
Yeah, he had a 10.3 second stop, so he definitely took fuel on, but the wheels are definitely falling off at the moment for Grant. So I'm not sure what the problem is there. We've got a number of guys at the moment waiting to come up for a chat, so we'll bring Ben Clugston up with 4 laps to go, or maybe we might leave them till the end at this stage so we can just watch the end of this race, folks.
And oh geez, I did say from the start, Bernie, we've got to keep an eye on David Buda and Richard Craig. Well, we know Richard's out now with retirement, but look at David Buda sitting in second position. So congratulations so far for him. He's sitting in there doing a fantastic job, Bernie.
Yeah, definitely. And having a look at our retirements at the moment, folks, we've had Richard Craig has retired. We'll get the word from what's caused that. Daniel Ackland, Blow and Motor, Ben Clugston from Redback Racing Team's also retired, and Rob Fitness and Pat McNamara have retired at this stage of the race.
Yeah, so the battle at the moment, Benny, it looks like between David Buda and Troy Burgess at the moment. So Troy's trying to push back up and try and get his position back for making that little bit of a mistake over Lukey Heights. But knowing David, he's going to have to fight really hard for that position.
Yeah, definitely, because David's no slouch behind the wheel, and as we're riding now with Troy coming onto the main straight, we'll see if he can get that draft and make a move coming into Doohan Corner.
Yeah, Bernie, it's these cars are fantastic, aren't they? You just sit there and wait, and if you time yourself right, you can get a position. So, and more likely than not, you might lose it the next lap around. So, good stuff, these things.
Yeah, definitely. He had. We were riding with Troy then. He had one heck of a great exit out of that last corner onto Gardner Straight, because he was alongside David before they got to the start-finish line.
And that's where we saw in the preliminary broadcast, Bernie, same thing happened. And that's how we got that really close finish. Just got out of that corner and drafted him quite well, and got out of the draft early enough and battled for that lead. Yeah,
definitely, and that was within, what, 1,000th of a second or something crazy, that preview race. So, we've seen it before. These guys might be that close at the end for second and third, but at the moment we've got Phil Hobbs out in the lead as he's starting to lap traffic, lapping his teammate, it looks like, with a 2.4 second lead at the moment.
Yeah, Benny, he started from its place, so what an awesome effort. Just sat in there, no issues for him, and he's out in the front, because we did see him have that second battle there, the second group battle, and got away from him, and was trying to close in, and he's done quite well to be leading the race now.
Yeah, well, definitely. With a 2.4 second lead, though, he can't quite relax now, as Troy Burgess is starting to make a gap on David. So we'll see if what Troy's time was this time round. As he crosses the start-finish line, he did a 146.347. So his Phil Hobbs did a 146.317. Troy 145.919, so about half a second he's pulled in, although now David is back on his tail again.
Yeah, Bernie, 2 seconds, roughly 2 seconds gap. Yeah, it's going to be tough, but it's not impossible. We know Troy can drive this car quite well, so look, we might have a close finish again today, mate.
Definitely, for second and third, it's definitely going to be a very close finish at this stage. That's really where the battle is happening. The rest of the field is spread out further down the pack. The only other battle at the moment down there looks like it's Nick Coburn. No, there's not really many battles going on. So we'll go back to the front, folks, and watch this to the end.
Yeah, Bernie, there's not too many. We've got Paul Wood and James Keane. They're reasonably close, but I don't think there's much in that one. But definitely up the front here with Troy and David Buda. But Troy's going to try and catch up to the lead. But with David hanging off his rear mirrors, he's going to struggle to get up there, I think.
Yeah, definitely. They're not going to cooperate at this point of the race, so it's game on from here on in, as they will be coming up to should be their last lap, I think.
Yes, I think so, Bernie. Last lap coming up, lap 28 now, so this is the last lap. So, geez, it's still on back there. Look at David around the outside at the moment. So, look, off he goes. So it's definitely a fight for second possession here, but he's a bit out wide there. Ooh, I think he just hung on to that, Bernie.
Certainly did, but Troy had the momentum. As you can see now, Troy getting a bit of a wiggle, and David now coming back on the inside. So this is fantastic racing.
Yeah, Bernie. It might not be first and second, but hey, look, this is awesome stuff. Watching these boys battle, and geez, they're not in position to gain anything at the moment. They're fighting too hard to get a move on first place, but really interesting watching as David goes for the undercut.
Yeah, he's going to be on the outside here, so we'll see what he can do coming out of Lukey Heights.
Oh, and it looks like Troy got a little bit slow out of that corner. Dave's tried to get up on the inside, but here we go. We're coming up to Lukey Heights here, so geez, it's going to see who can get out of this hairpin.
Yeah, David really needs a good run here to see if he can catch him on the line like Troy did the previous lap.
Oh, and Troy got a little bit loose out of there. Has that helped David or not? We'll soon find out.
Yeah, I don't think David's going to recover from there, as we can see him dropping back at this stage.
Yeah, I think that's all she wrote, David. David just didn't have the didn't have it coming out, did he, Bernie? He's just struggled a little bit.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Oh, that was close for fourth and fifth, I think, Bernie.
That was James just overtaking a lapped car. So let's have a look at the results, folks. We were focusing on second and third in that battle. The winner of today was Phil Hobbs of Redback Racing Team with a brilliant drive there, followed by Troy Burgess, David Buda in third, James Keane fourth, Paul Wood Stotesbury fifth, sixth Lance Perkins, seventh Mick Gray, eighth Kevin Willman, ninth Grant Ashby, 10th Sam Kurtasakinos, sorry for butchering your name, 11th Neil De Bruin, 12th Brian Hender, Kurt Maher in 13th, Nick Coburn 14th, Darren Lesu is 15th and the last to get points, Darren Carter 16th, Warren Cogger 17th, Santiago Pedrosa 18th, Phil Barringer 19th, Ben Conroy 20th, 21st Michael Thomas, Richard Craig, who retired 22nd, Daniel Ackland 23rd, Ben Clugston 24th, 25th Rob Fitness, and 26th was Paul McNamara. So Adrian, that was some good racing, mate. What did you think of it all?
Everything I thought was going to happen, Bernie. I think it was brilliant racing with the boys. Pitch strategy definitely threw a few guys up there that weren't in contention from the start. So look, great racing, Bernie, as per normal, like I've seen before. So definitely going to be interesting to see the next few rounds and keep an eye on these guys. It's just lovely racing.
Yeah, it definitely is, and we'd just like to welcome Ben Clugston to the commentary box. Welcome to RRTV, Ben. It looked like you had some trouble in that race. What exactly happened, mate?
G'day, Bernie. G'day, Adrian. First of all, I'd like to say congratulations to Phil for the win. Yeah, look, at the start I was having a few netcode issues where obviously my net wasn't catching up, and then that sort of culminated a little bit later in some issues in me hitting someone, essentially, and probably ruining their race and mine, so I have to apologise for that one as well.
Yeah, I think that was Michael Thomas you may have come in contact with, but you might have had a poor run, but Phil Hobbs, your teammate, has won that race, so that must be a great news for Redback Racing Team.
Phil's done great. As always, he's got good pace. I think he was a little unhappy with his qualifying, but yeah, he's definitely pulled through in the race to get there. So
Yeah, as we welcome the team, not the team winner, the race winner, Phil Hobbs from Redback Racing Team, to the commentary booth. We'll leave you here, Ben, so you can have a chat with him too if you like. Well done, Phil. That was a fantastic race. I think you were back in 5th for most of it. How exactly did you manage to get that Skippy up into the lead?
I tell you what, it was a bit of punching over my weight limit there, but I think it was, I'm not sure, I pitted and I took the 7.6 litres, and as I come back out I was suddenly in 3rd place. So I'm not sure what happened there, whether it was a little bit quicker than other guys to get the marks a bit better, but then the guys in front of me made a mistake, and I think Grant went to the pits and Troy spun out, so just a matter of managing that gap, and it wasn't easy, it was stressful, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, it looked extremely stressful out there, but we did catch Troy Burgess spinning in Lukey Heights. We're not exactly sure what happened to Grant. We think he may have ran out of fuel, but we'll have to wait for confirmation on that. Adrian, is there anything you'd like to speak to Phil and Ben about today?
Phil, we were watching you there. You're having a great battle in the second pack there when it broke away, and then you've got off and did your own thing. So do you think that helped you get up with your pit stop to be up near the pointy end there after your pit stop?
Not too sure really. I knew my pace was a good half a second off those guys running in the lead, so it would have been nice to stay with that pack, and I actually thought about sitting behind David there for a while, see if he could catch back up to him so I could sit there with him, but we were just, lap after lap, sort of attacking each other and falling back and back, and I think I finally got in front of them, and one of them made a mistake behind me, which let me get away for a little bit, and I sort of ran my own race there for midway through the race, through sort of that middle period, and I thought, it was coming up to lap 16, lap 17, and I thought, lap 17, if these guys in the pack in front of me don't pit, I'll go now, a lap earlier. And I did, and I just happened to come out in front of them. So, but it was a great battle with David, really tight, and it was a really good fun, actually, probably the highlight of my race, other than the last lap, the last 5 minutes, the last 5 seconds.
Yeah, definitely, and it was definitely well driven tonight, Phil, and it was great to see the strategy unfolding. In a month's time, we're off to Dakota West. What's your feeling about that track?
It's a track where I haven't actually done a lot of running on. In fact, I've only ever run on the full circuit, and that was just for a normal run-of-the-mill hosted skippy race. So it was. I didn't do a lot of practice beforehand, and I didn't do too well in it, but I'm guessing I'm going to need a lot of practice to try and back this up. But look, we'll see what happens, I suppose. Something might happen like that again. I got pretty lucky tonight, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, that's right. What's your thoughts on this track, Ben? Have you driven at Dakota West yet?
Again, not on Dakota West. Dakota Full is definitely a challenge, I think, in the skip, but there's plenty of overtaking, I'm sure, in Dakota Full, so I would assume that Dakota West is going to be a similar thing.
Yeah, I think it just cuts off that really big straight, which should be a lot better for the Skippy. So before we let you boys go, is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to or a thanks for today's racing?
Just a shout out to the whole all the guys in the Skippy team, in the RRT Skippy team. We managed to make most of the qualifying sessions, and we put the cars in a good spot, and unfortunately Ben had a bit of an accident there with netcode and whatnot. I think, not sure what Santi came, I think he 18th place, so 28th to 18th is pretty good. Really happy with the way he drove today, and bring on next track.
Yeah, definitely. It's Sandy had a good drive today. He kept it out of trouble, and he finished in 17th, one lap down, which is a good result. All right, guys, we'll let you go, and we'll bring Troy up for a bit of a chat.
No worries, thank you.
Hey Troy, welcome to RRTV commentary booth, and bad luck there. It looked like you were in control of that race up until that spin in Lukey Heights. Okay, it looks like we may have some technical issues with Troy, so we will temporarily see if you can sort that out, and we'll bring Richard Craig up for a chat. Hi Richard, welcome to RRTV's commentary box. Bad luck tonight, mate. What exactly went wrong for you in that race?
What didn't go wrong? It was pretty exciting, but that on turn one, I suddenly had a blue car appear in front of me when we were well round in between turn one and turn two. And so I sort of jumped out of my skin. Where did he come from? Because he literally just flashed in. Anyway, and then that was a pretty exciting first couple of laps. And I think it was at the end of lap 2? I think I just lost a bit of front end downforce coming onto the main straight. Just managed to get a wheel across that rumble strip, and round I went. I kept it off the wall, but yeah, and then collected by Darren at Lukey Heights, and that was unfortunate. And then again later on, so one to forget, Bernie, but it was really good fun.
Yeah, we caught the first spin, and you were really lucky to keep that off the wall and not have anyone collect you, but that second incident definitely made a mess of that car, so bad luck on that. But from a event organiser point of view, what's your thoughts of today's round?
I thought it was really good. Once I'd retired and I checked out the racing, and you know, the guys were going for it. It was pretty exciting. It's an awesome track to race on, and yeah, it was a really good spirit as well. I think it was brilliant, really good.
Yeah, we had a good turnout. We had 26 drivers take to the grid today in the end, and we had 29 drivers qualify. So that's not too bad considering the Daytona 24 hours on this weekend, and it was a great turnout. And Adrian, I must say it was a fantastic spectacle seeing all those skippies take to that first corner tonight.
Yeah, Bertie, one of those things you always hold your breath when you're getting a lot of cars into turn one, and especially here at Phillip Island, it's so fast getting into the corners on even from a race start. So and with these skippies knowing that they aren't totally downforce driven, so yeah, no, it's great racing, and well done by all the drivers tonight.
Yeah, definitely. So, Richard, next month we're off to America for Coda West. As a driver, what's your thoughts on that circuit?
Well, as long as the weather's not too hot, like, you know, the track seems to melt the tyres every time you go there in the official series, and there's no grip. And it's a real shame because Coda is actually a fantastic circuit to drive in this car, and there's lots of room. And we selected the West just to negate some of the impact of the draft down that very, very long straight. And of course that replaces it with a pretty tricky S section. It's very easy to get off the track there, and then you come back out joining the end of the long straight immediately into the hairpin. So I think what we've got there is a good length for the car. There's plenty of track. I think it'll make for some very exciting racing, and the guys probably aren't really used to Coda West because in the official we normally run the long track. So I think that'll be fun.
Yeah, definitely, and by the looks of how close the field was tonight, or today, I keep on saying tonight, I think we're going to be in for a fantastic race. So congratulations on the first round of this series. It looks like it's a success, Richard, and we look forward to catching you next month at Coda West. If you wish to stay in the commentary box, you're most welcome, and we'll see if we can bring Troy Burgess up for an interview.
Yeah, cheers, Benny. That'd be good. Thank you, and thanks to RRTV, mate. Great effort.
Yeah, no worries. Adrian and we love doing this. I reckon it's the best seat in the house. What do you reckon, Adrian?
Oh yeah, for sure, Benny. At least if I'm up here, I don't have an accident and take myself out or someone else and have a disappointing race. I can actually sit here and call the race and enjoy every minute of it, and yeah, get so excited just watching the boys race so hard.
Yeah, definitely. I had a run last night in the SRA, and I must say I was puffing at the end of that, so I'm definitely out of condition. Anyway, Troy Burgess, welcome to RRTV's commentary box. Have you got your microphone fixed now?
I believe so. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you, Troy. Second position, mate. It looked like you had that race under control up until that spin at Lukey Heights. You must have been kicking yourself at that point.
Yeah, I was pretty annoyed. I was trying to pull a gap. I thought that was the time to try and pull a gap on, I believe it was Grant at the time, and just missed my braking marker trying to see what the gap was.
Yeah, you definitely looked like you were pushing, but we're not sure. Like, we saw you spin, but we also saw Grant Ashby coming into the pits. We think he may have ran out of fuel, but we're not sure, which gave the win to Phil. So bad luck there. But how did the rest of the race go? It looked like it was really close racing between the top four there.
Yeah, well, it's the sort of track where you just can't seem to break the draft as hard as you try. I think I led quite a few laps there, and I was just trying to push as hard as I could. Hopefully second and third had a come together or started fighting, but they didn't seem to, and it just you'd pull out 0.5 of a second through the back and then come onto the straight and you just lose it all again.
Yeah, we could see the tow had a big effect on the guys, but I tell you what, it was great racing for most of that race between you guys, and it was fantastic watching you swapping positions with Grant, I think it was, and at some stage earlier in the race, Mick Gray. So from your perspective, how did you find the standard of driving today?
Yeah, it was good. I guess it's, you just got to focus on what you're trying to do and not worry too much about the rest, and hopefully everything will work out. But no, there was a lot of overtaking, which is good for the people watching. So yeah, I hope they enjoyed it.
Yeah, next month we're off to Coda West. Have you driven on that track yet?
Yeah, I've driven it a few times, so it should be good.
Troy, Richard here, mate. What are your thoughts on the last few laps when you rejoined after Lukey Heights? I was watching that. That looked pretty exciting stuff with David and Paul.
Yeah, it was the red mist had descended it, and it was game on. I was trying to see if I could pull Phil in those last few laps, but again, once David started coming back at me, it made it hard to focus forward. But anyway, that's racing.
Yeah, definitely. And before we let you go, Troy, is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to for getting you here today?
Not really. I'm actually missing a teammate today. I don't know where he is, so I'm hoping in the next race I've got my teammate here and we can draft at the front together and pull a gap from the rest of the field.
Yeah, so what you can say is I'd like to give a big shout out to me.
Yeah, look, I guess I just do this for a bit of fun, so it absorbs a bit of time, but it's a good hobby to have, so just enjoying it.
Fantastic. Well, good luck for next month, and we'll probably see you in the next Monday night Strength of Field race next week.
No worries. Thanks, Bernie. Thanks, Richard. Thanks for organising. It's a good competition, and it looks good for the rest of the season.
We've got our third place getter, Paul Wood Stotesbury. Welcome to RRTV commentary box. I think, where do we have you? Fifth at the end of today's race. You there, Paul?
Hang on a sec, I just need to try and stop the background.
It was definitely one of those races, Birdie, where we couldn't keep our eyes off where the cars were today. So it's look, you know, it's going to be interesting the whole season. So I'm definitely can't wait for the next round, and it's only, you know, it's a month away. So I'm not going to get enough of this, you know, Bernie.
Yeah, neither am I. And with no drop rounds, the guys are going to have to try to make every single round if they wish to take out the championship at the end of the year. But if this racing continues the way it has been, you and I are going to have a lot of great fun broadcasting these races.
Yeah, for sure. So Richard's job at the moment now will be trying to help David keep up near the front, because as though he may not have dropped around and had a bad one, but certainly the focus will be back on David, wouldn't it, Richard?
Yeah, I think that's right. Clearly, some of these tracks, draft plays a big factor. We saw tonight with Grant's pole lap after a good solid toe from Mick Gray, brought him up into the threes, which I think gave him about 2/10 clear. So yeah, David and I will be having a chat about that, and we'll do our best to get him up there. Absolutely. And there's still, of course, the team championship, but yeah, it's early days, but you know, definitely looking at some team orders, I think.
Yeah, that's the thing with team championship as well. You've got to try to get the driver who's getting the most points up the front. So it'll be interesting to see how that changes throughout the year, Richard. Paul, have we got you now, mate?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, Paul, we've had you finish in 5th position tonight, which is a pretty good result. How did that race go for you tonight?
Yeah, it went pretty well. Qualified pretty poorly down 11th, so the aim was to try and get in the top 10. Otherwise, definitely succeeded in that endeavour. But it generally went pretty well. The only real thing was when Troy Burgess came back on the track. It gave me a bit of a fright coming down through Lukey Heights. But other than that, no, reasonably happy. Doug got pipped at the end by Jason, but other than that, top 5 for the first run out. Good start.
Yeah, fantastic, and it's a good haul of points too for the starting round, so well done on that tonight. So we're going to Coda West next week, and next month, not next week. What's your thoughts on Coda West, mate?
I haven't driven it yet on either the short track or the long track, so I have no idea, so get some practicing during the next month, and hopefully we'll be competitive.
Fantastic. Adrian, is there any questions you have for Paul before we let him go?
Not at the moment, Bernie, no.
All right, Paul. Well, before we let you go, is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to for today's race?
Just the organisers for putting on such a great series. I think they've done really well. It's a great event. Everyone was racing really clean. It was quite competitive, and I'm looking forward to the season ahead.
Yeah, and we had a pretty good field in the end, 26 skippies, so I think that was a successful start. Hopefully, as the series gets momentum, we'll get more and more drivers in here having a go. But anyway, Paul, thank you for coming up for a chat. We might see you in the Monday night Strength of Field race.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, before we wrap up this broadcast, I'd just like to bring our race steward up, Kevin Weirman, to the commentary box to get his thoughts on tonight's race. So, Kevin, from your perspective, how do you think that race went?
The race went pretty well, Bernie. A few incidents that must be looked into, but no big stuff.
Okay, fantastic. So you've got notes of those incidents, and you'll get them forwarded to Richard, myself. Is that right?
Yes, indeed.
Fantastic, and I must thank you, Kevin, for taking time out in your busy schedule to steward these races. It makes a huge difference having someone there keeping an eye on the race as it progresses, but it looked like we didn't have any drive-through penalties or anything like that, so good job, mate.
Yeah, indeed, especially today it's just pretty busy with the 24 hours of Daytona I'm driving, so I came just out of a stint on that to see the race and just watch it, that there are no incidents.
Yeah, so in the Daytona 24 hours, how's your team going in that event today? I guess how many hours are you in? You must be just over the 14-hour mark, is that correct?
Yeah, we're now exactly at the 14-hour mark, position 7 in the HPD. Or 6 now, as I hear my team member speak to me via Skype. But yeah, we're doing pretty okay. We have some damage, losing about 40 kilometers an hour on the oval section, but yeah, we just keep going and we try to finish the race.
Fantastic. And is that in the top split you guys are running tonight?
No, too bad not. If I recall correctly, you needed an I rating of 4,000 or 5,000 to make it to the top split.
Wow. Well, anyway, Kevin, best of luck for the rest of the Daytona 24 hour. I'll definitely be tuning in to Race Spot TV to watch the top split anyway, who those guys I must give a shout out to. They've been broadcasting live, Adrian, since the start of the race, and they're going to the end of the race. Does that make you feel like we're a bit slack when we don't even broadcast the 8 hour all day?
No, Bernie, I call us very smart and intelligent and don't wear ourselves out, and I'm sure we'd end up snoozing through the broadcast if we stayed for 8 hours.
Yeah, good call, mate. I think we're smart too. But anyway, to wrap this up tonight, guys, from my perspective, the racing was very exciting. I really enjoyed broadcasting it, and it looked like it was clean racing. Was that your opinion on the race tonight, Adrian?
Yeah, Benny, look, you're going to get close racing. You are going to get touching a little bit here and there, especially with the skippies. But look, the boys did a fantastic job tonight. Didn't get too overly aggressive, and it was great racing, like I've seen before. So yeah, just going to love watching the rest of the series and be up here and call the action with you throughout the year, mate.
Yeah, definitely. So anyway, we'll wrap this broadcast up. So I'd like to thank Kevin Weirman for the race control today. It made a huge difference. And Adrian, we're back in 6 hours, roughly, for the SEK Queensland GT3 series. We'll be broadcasting that today, folks, at 8:15 tonight. But in the meantime, if you wish to get more racing, go to racespot.tv and check out the Daytona 24 hours. So on behalf of Adrian Jarvis, I'm Bernie Weemers. You've been watching RRTV.